one, now it's very hard to find a surgery mask outside, right? Even though you can find it, it's very expensive. So instead, at home, like since we have nothing to do at home, so I dig out all my closet and find out bags of used clothes. So I find old jeans, old dress that doesn't fit me anymore. So I think looking at those bags and I think about it, oh, what can I do? And then maybe we can make some masks for ourselves and for a friend and for my little kids. And so I decided to make a custom-made DIY mask. Okay, how do we make a custom-made one? Okay, we base on our face, so everyone is different. Well, is it hard to do? No, it's not. If you have a sewing machine, you can finish it in half an hour. If you don't, it will take a longer time, but even a 10 years old can do it. So I believe that you can do it too. Just follow my procedure. I will teach you step by step how to do it. Okay? Let's get started. Now, I'm gonna teach you how to do your measurements right now. This is step one, okay? When you do your, imagine this is your face or your husband's face or your kid's face, okay? Now, first, you're gonna start from your nose to your chin, okay? Let's say I measure it like to 12 centimeters, okay? And then you are going to add 2 more centimeters on top, and then there will be up 14 centimeters, okay? So this 2 centimeters is a must. You have to add it, okay? Now, everyone is different. I'm just saying that, for example, this is 12, okay? Then you're gonna measure from the same point to the beginning of the ears, okay? In front of the ears, all right? And let's say there's 14 centimeters. All right, now, after you have your measurements, then you need an A4 paper, okay? Now you have your A4 paper, you have to fold your A4 paper into half. Okay, now, so this is the folding area. You're gonna start your measurements here. Now, do you remember I said 12 plus 2 is 14? There will be your vertical line. So you will measure 14 here, okay? There will be another 14 here. I'm just gonna eyeball it now. Okay, now, so this you don't need anymore. You can cut it out, or at this moment I'm just gonna fold it. Now, so now I measure, this is 14 centimeters, right? So this is 14 centimeters right here. Now, next is, here is also 14, so happen, okay? And then I'm gonna, horizontally, I'm gonna measure 14, oh, exactly 14, so happens exactly 14, okay. So this is 14 also. All right, now, next things we gotta do is here, 10 centimeters. I'm just gonna eyeball it to the center, okay? 10 centimeters right here. Okay, yes? And then 5 here. 5 centimeter. And 5 centimeters. Okay, now we are gonna, next things we're gonna make the 3D shapes. How do we do that? First, we're gonna, for adults, it's about 3.5 centimeter. For little children, it could be like down to like 2.5 to 2. Okay, it depends how small the kid's face are. Okay, then from that point, so this is 3.5, and then from this point to the edge of the page, you want to do 4 centimeters. From this point to the edge of the paper is 4 centimeters. Will be exactly the same over here. So it's 3.5. From this point, 4 centimeters to the edge of the paper. Now, then from here to this point, we're gonna draw a curve, nice curved line to join them together. Like this. Now, so basically this part here is going to be your patterns, your custom-made pattern. Now I finished cutting the patterns out. So when I open that up, it'll be like this. Now you have to find a fabric that is big enough to fit everything. Something like this, okay? Okay, if it can able to fit, then that would be great. Okay, now, so when you have that, and this, you need 3 different 100% cotton. Make sure you use 100% cotton or pillowcase. Try not to use any other like polyester because some people are allergic to it. Now I cut the fabric out roughly. Then I make sure it fits all 3 of them. Then I can put them together like this. And then I'm going to fold each of them in half. Don't try to do it all together because you will find difference. You're going to do them separately. This is the front. And you are going to align them here. It's very important that you align them very well. You align them here. See, this is all the folding area, and this is the folding area. And you're going to place this over here, okay? And you're going to use the pin. Try not to pin the middle because you don't want to hold on the mask in the middle, center of the mask. So we got to pin the edge. Make sure this is still aligned. And then we are going to cut all 3 fabric together. Now, since this is, I cut it out already. Since this is a 3 layers mask, so I have 3 layers. So this would be the middle layer, and this is the front layer, and this is going to be the inside layer, which is the layer that's going to touch your face. Now, I want to move this one out first. I'm going to work with this 2 layer, the front layer and the middle layer. And you want this part open. This is the front. This is the inside. This is the front. And you open that up, that would be the inside. It's harder to tell, but I can tell for myself. Now, you want the front facing out like this, okay? Like this, okay? Align them and fold them in half. Now, I'm gonna put that aside. Now, I'm gonna go back to this one. Now, they're all the same size, right? But for the inside layer, I need you to cut about 1 inch out. Okay, you don't need that anymore. So remember that this is going to be the inside layer. Now, next we are going to use the sewing machine to sew them together. But before that, for those who doesn't have a sewing machine, I'm going to teach you a technique how to do it. Now, I'm using a comb, okay, to do a little alignment here. So, and then I can start doing it so that, because my sewing skill is not that great. Okay, so we're going to start that. And then voila. Now, if I use by hand, so I stitch it like that. But now, from now on, I'm going to use a sewing machine, so it's faster. So I'm going to continue doing the other side. Now I finished sewing here, and this is I use the stitch. The reason why I use black because I want you to see it more clearly. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to flip here and here. Now, remember, this is the inside. This is the inside. So you want people to see it really nice out there, like at the front, like this, okay? So we're gonna do this part and then also the other side so that you will end up like, look, I have something like this. Then after you finish this one, we're gonna do exactly the same thing with this part and this part. And I'm gonna use a sewing machine to do it now. Now I finished sewing here, 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 here. Okay, when I opened it up, you see this is going to be the front, okay? All right, this is the part that is touch your face, okay? Now, then we're gonna open this part up. Now you already see the 3-dimension shapes already show. Now this is the first layer, the front, and I want you to use the base layer, the bottom layer, okay, the front to front, front face to the front, yes, okay, and we are going to sew here, like we are going to align this, make sure this part and this part, see the middle part here, make sure they all align, and open that up. When you use the sewing machine, sew them together. You can use a pin to pin it so that it secure this area, and you're gonna make sure these are all aligned. We use a sewing machine, sew here to here, and also we're gonna align here to sew from here to there. Okay, we're gonna come back. Now, if you have an overlock function on your sewing machine, then you can do an overlock on this area. Only this area, this part here, you don't really have to, but it's up to you. Okay, so you secure. So now you secure the edge right now. Okay. Now the next procedure is up to you. You don't have to do it if you want to add a wire. This is the time, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Okay, there's a little bit more complicated. You can use the ribbons, any fabric, that is okay. That is a little bit wider than your wire. You flip them, iron them, and then flip them like this, and then you can place your wire down here. I like to tuck it in here. Okay, now you can just use the sewing machine to sew one line to make it a bit easier, and then you gotta put this one here on top of it and sew another pocket in it. Okay, so I'm gonna do it right now. Okay, so now you have a pocket that the wire is stored inside. Like this, okay? So that the wire is inside. All right, now the next procedure is to flip. Now, after you flip it, remember this is the top, that's where the wire is. Then you're going to iron these edges here. You're going to use the iron to iron this. Okay, and then you're almost done. Next part is going to do you remember I asked you to cut 5 centimeters for this part, for the white, the inside layer? is because I want to leave more space here so that I can able to make the tunnel for the elastic. So to do the tunnel, you fold this part, because when you iron them, this is much easier to work with. And then you're going to fold 1 and 2. And then you're going to sew this together, and then you create a tunnel so that your elastic can able to go through. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that later after I sewing this all together. Okay, now I'm going to I iron them already, and I'm going to stitch them together now. So I sew them together now. So I use a hair clip, put the elastic in between, and then I'm going to have the hair clip to go through the tunnel. Then, now this elastic is about 22 to 25. It depends on the size of your head. So it's up to you. If it's too long, you can always cut it off. So you just tie a knot. Okay, now you have your knot, hide inside. Here you go. All right, do the same thing onto the other side. Hi, so I'm all assemble everything together. See that it's nice and fit my face. It's custom made. Okay, it's you can stop at this point. But however, if you want to make it more unique, you can add something to it. For example, you can find a pom pom at home. You can sew it on. Now remember, do not use glue gun. Okay, you have to make sure you find something you can able to sew it on. Otherwise, after you wash it, it's gonna fall off. Okay. Now, of course, after that, you know, if you have a lighter color fabric, you can use Sharpie's permanent marker to add more details to it. Okay. It's better if you have a fabric paint at home. Okay, you can create even more creative stuff that you can imagine. Okay, well, the next step I'm going to show you one of the example how I'm going to transfer this to something more unique. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. All right, now, so how do I make it look different? So I have some fabric paint here, so that I bought before, and I'm gonna think of my design. I want to make it to like a teddy bear. So I use a cardboard and I was cutting a circle to make it like a stencil. So give myself, and I have like a little towel at the bottom to give me a little support, you know, because they're 3-dimensional right now. Then let's use some tape, sort of. Just tape it a bit. Okay, so I may need to use my hand. Hopefully you can see it. Okay, then I will start using a paint brush. I can add a little bit of water to it. And I would paint it like this. So this is just quickly give me a circle. It's not very nice right now, okay? But we need that roughly the shape of the circle. After you did the first layer, you gotta wait until it's dry to do a second layer. Okay, now, so it's dry. I add a second layer already, and then it's also dry. So I'm going to do my design. I'm thinking, like, remember, this is the wire part that's top. Like, don't flip it the other way around. I gotta put this to support it. Let's do if you like, you can use Sharpies, permanent marker, to do it. Just take a bit longer time. If your fabric is a bit lighter, then you can work with that. But of course, I have a fabric paint here. I will do with fabric paint. Voila! So it's very simple, but it's really cute, right? And also, if you like, you can use Pom Pom to stick it to make it more three-dimension too. All right. So, and I have other example like this one here that I use the Pom Pom. Okay, and I use some fabric paint, and you can mix with the fabric paint and the permanent marker to get a little bit like a 3D effect to it. See it? So you can mix them to enhance the look of it. And I also have another one, this one here, so I can play around with shades too, eh? So it's really up to you. You guys are artists, so be creative and like okay. So there are many different ways to do your mask.